Dano's in the house. I was wondering if he would see my early notice. Hey, everybody, happy Sunday. And instead of happy Sunday evening, we're doing, oops, microphone's over there. I set this up really quick. So it's Sunday. You already knew that. And normally we live stream on Sunday evenings. But today, because I'm in Los Angeles, and today we are filming our first scripted film. So at 5 o'clock, which would have been 8 o'clock East Coast time, I will be. Hold on a second. Stop. I will be on the set. So since we weren't able to live stream last week, I figured we'd go early. Also, it's a test to see if we should do this early all the time. And what I mean by that is within a few months, I'm going to be moving back to Los Angeles, and 5 o'clock just is not going to work. So we might just go early in the day on Sundays, if Sunday is the right day. We're going to have to experiment a little bit. So, sorry I wasn't live last week. Thought I'd say hello to everybody today. Next Sunday, I think next Sunday, and it's Mother's Day. So you guys, is my first Mother's Day without Mom, but I'll try to live stream. So there. And I have a rant in me. And, I scheduled this for 1 o'clock, but I started fighting with one of the homeless haters. They are, homeless haters. So it has been a real eye-opening, amazing week. So as many of you know, because you follow along on Twitter and Instagram, I'm here in Los Angeles partly to look for apartments, but also we shot too many documentaries, and we are shooting a movie. It's our first scripted film. Many of you have seen Homeless, which was the film. Luciana is the producer, director. She even played in it. And it was very powerful, and I really saw how wonderful scripted films could be, and you guys all liked it. So here we go. We're gonna start doing scripted films. So last night was the first day of production, and then today we are in Burbank. We rented a parking lot, and for the night scenes, because it's about a woman who is evicted and then she lives in her car. But it's been an amazing week. It has just been really, really, really powerful. And one of the stories. Okay. So here I am. Let me I thought I had everything great. I have this all set up, but I didn't do the audio right. So, where is these stinking windows? Uh, okay, so here we go. We are going to try this again, and we're going to do it right this time. So, we started this week, or one of the stories this week, is we followed USC medical team out on the streets of Los Angeles. And it was amazingly powerful. What's going to be, so here's the thing is, this is Dr. Philman. He is helping this woman. She has chronic asthma. She's in and out of the hospital. And because of the way the laws are now, medical professionals like this woman, her primary care physician, the street medicine doctors can't really, they can do like some wound care and some minor stuff, but they can't really help her because they're not her primary care doctor. So the mini documentary we're doing that you guys all support, you know, is going to help change laws in Sacramento so that street medicine doctors can be primary care physicians for homeless people. This is important because it saves lives and it saves taxpayer money. Both are huge. And I have to tell you, and I might get emotional, when they, and let me go, when they pulled out the cloth to cover up this homeless man, so cars were driving by and they're going to help him with an abscess. And they pulled out this sheet and they covered him with it. I cried. I was on the street. Now, Alex, who helps me produce these, and she's a cinematographer and editor and producer, I kind of turned away from Alex because, we all get emotional or we don't want to, share our emotions. But I was in tears. And there was a couple of reasons for that. Is that these medical professionals, they were helping this man, but by covering him up for when cars drive by, they were respecting him and providing dignity. And then my heart broke for him. And it was an extremely, extremely powerful moment. And the video should be out soon. We have a couple other things to shoot, but the mini documentary, within the next 2 months, we'll have that up hopefully sooner. And I got to tell you, it is, as Dano just said, look at the photo. It's going to be so powerful. And the last one we uploaded was with Dr. King in Venice, and that was extremely powerful. And all of our mini documentaries are powerful. There's a link down below in the description. Please go check them out, share them with everybody. And so then we also did, now this one might be a little controversial, but that's the thing, right? the bottom of our website. It used to be at the top of our website, our old website, saying caution. Some of this. What is? I got to go look what it says. I forgot it. My gosh. Caution. Some content may be offensive. Our hope is you'll get mad enough to do something. That it's the disclaimer down at the bottom. It's the invisible people way. Is we tell the authentic story of homelessness. So this next story, unmuted. I got to unmute as we go. So this next story, which is another mini documentary we're shooting. So that's Rosa in the middle. And Rosa has been on Skid Row since she was 11 years old. 11 years old. And that's Soma Snake Oil on the right, and that's Jen on the left. And I call them warrior women. And I got to tell you, what an awesome... So the Sidewalk Project is in several cities, and they go out and they do wound care, they do harm reduction, they provide food, they help homeless people, but also sex workers. And like I said, it's going to be a little bit controversial, but if something we share gets you upset, take that anger and use it to help fight homelessness. Because, these women are angels and heroes and just really amazing. So this is Jen in action. And dead addicts don't recover. So a lot of people are against harm reduction. They don't understand it. Brushing your teeth is harm reduction. Fastening your seatbelt is harm reduction. So a lot of people just don't, for whatever reason, have issues with harm reduction, but it's saving lives. If somebody is addicted to drugs and they die, they have zero chance of getting better. And harm reduction helps. Now, one of the things that is kind of scary. This is so I'm going to show you another photo in a second. And Soma, who is the woman who's holding this man's head, Soma, we're just about ready to do wound care on the other man. And this gentleman in the green pants came over, and he said, there's somebody that got his head cut, and we have to go. And Soma, who's a petite female, right, by herself on Skid Row, goes taking off. Goes taking off to go help him. Just totally amazing. So I don't know, and I'm really careful about how to frame this. Is that gentleman was just on a bus bench. He's Asian, and somebody just came up and hit him. So we don't know if it's this hate stuff that's going on. And I don't want to say that it is, because we just don't know. What we do know is somebody came up and hit him, and it's horrible. And Soma went off to go help him. And that is just amazing. So that's Cookie, the gentleman, and that's Soma. And you can see how this gentleman's leg is so infected. And Soma is doing wound care. And again, everybody, not everybody, the homeless haters want you to believe that homeless people are these, monsters, right? And, if you're a female, you should be scared. Well, you know what? Going into a Walmart or a church anymore, there's mass shootings, right? We live in a scary world. And Skid Row is a scary place. But, you can't believe the hate, because here is a woman, a petite woman that is out helping homeless people. She goes out every day. She goes out every single day by herself. She goes out to help homeless people. I mean, that is amazing. Simply amazing. And that leads me to, do you guys want to rant? There's a group of people that they just hate homeless people. And what they want, their agenda, is for them to be arrested, for every homeless person to be arrested. So just think about that, right? Homelessness is going to increase 86% in the next 4 years in Los Angeles. And they want to put everybody in jail. I mean, jails are already overcrowded, and it's expensive to taxpayers. And then putting people in jail, we've learned on the war of drugs, which is a joke, because prisons are, private prisons, they're for profit now, causes more pain and does nothing to end homelessness. Nothing to end homelessness. The homeless haters have this agenda, and they're trying to get you, the public, to believe that homeless people are these scary monsters. And their latest tactic is homeless encampments shouldn't be around schools. They're right. Shouldn't be around schools, shouldn't be in parks, shouldn't be in sidewalks, shouldn't be under bridges. There shouldn't be homeless encampments. Period. There shouldn't be none. None of them should exist. But let's do a little perspective. How many homeless people have walked into a school with an automatic weapon and started shooting? How many? None. Zero. How many middle-class white dudes have walked into a school with an automatic weapon and started shooting? Many. So if you use this thinking that these demographics shouldn't be around schools, we shouldn't allow middle-class white men around schools, right? They're using children and schools as a way to get you to push for more criminalization, which does nothing to end homelessness. Nothing. It's just, and it's expensive to taxpayers. The other thing that they're doing, the other messaging, is they try to pretend they have compassion. And they push for forced treatment, meaning if there's a drug addict, the police take them to a treatment center. How many times has somebody forced you into doing something and it's stuck, right? Nobody likes being forced. You got to want it. And here's the thing. So abstinence-based, which is you go into a recovery center that's like 12 steps, and they don't like, and they don't allow drugs and alcohol. That's called abstinence-based. It works for some people. And for the rest, harm reduction works. And for everybody, housing first, where you give them housing so they can have dignity, works. The people that want homeless people arrested, and they say, oh, if you don't support forced treatment, you're just allowing people to die. And I tweeted this out earlier. So I had a friend and his dad, and his name was Richard, and him and his dad were out on the streets homeless. And they were drinking themselves to death since the mom died. And Richard was drinking himself. He was so far gone in alcoholism that his liver was failing. And he had sores on his legs. So he couldn't wear pants. So what he did was he would wear shorts and then wrap the sore so nobody could see him in bandanas. He would have bandanas basically around his legs. Now, any normal person, right, we'd think, oh gosh, if I'm wrapping bandanas around my legs to hide sores, I probably have a problem. But there's a point where drugs and alcohol just take over. So we tried everything. We tried everything to get Richard into a recovery center or a rehab or something. And none of it would work. None of it. Richard died outside. He was he was probably 30 years old, always kind, and he died outside. Harm reduction would have saved his life. So here are these homeless haters that just want police to come in and arrest all the homeless people so they don't have to see them. I don't want to see homeless people either, but I want solutions so that homeless people are in housing, not in jails. That's like insane, especially homelessness is going to increase around this country. Jails are already filled. And you're going to, here in Los Angeles, there's 80,000 homeless people. They say 60,000, but there's probably 80, 90,000. And you're going to put them in jails? That's crazy. So the homeless haters are messaging two things. They're messaging homeless people are around schools to get you to push for arresting them. Or they're messaging, these people are dying. If you don't support forced treatment, then you're allowing these people to die. That is not the truth. That is not the truth at all. And you guys, the Invisible People family, we have to fight this misinformation that's going around. It's just horrible. And, as we see here with Jen, addicts are humans too. And if this guy dies, he's never going to get better. Like my friend Richard. And some people, like Rosa, who's in the middle, she's homeless since 11 years old on Skid Row. This woman has seen and felt so much trauma. We need to help these people. And outside of Invisible People, there's nobody countering with good. There's TV shows that are just here in LA. NBC has Streets of Shame. You have YouTubers and social media and all this negative stuff. Nobody is countering, with the truth. And in Invisible People, we talk about addiction. We talk about mental illness. It's horrible. And but we also do it in a way to show hope and real solutions. Criminalization, locking people up, is not a solution. And don't let the messaging these people are sharing, they don't care. They just want, what they're doing is they're pushing for police action. And we can't allow that. So how's everybody doing on a Sunday afternoon? I thought I would scream on that rant. I did an Instagram story earlier, and I was screaming. What do you guys think about this time in the afternoon? It probably, when I moved to LA, it'll probably be earlier, maybe 11 o'clock West Coast, which would be 2 o'clock East Coast. Hey, Walter. Yeah, Dano, it was a calm rant. Zan, we're going to do this. Zan, thank you. A non-con rant. So, Zan, billions of dollars from the Biden administration is going to homeless people. It's stop watching Fox News. Fox News is a bullshit machine. It's full of lies trying to get you. It's right. First off, we have to take care of people. We have to. These people aren't coming to America to go to Disneyland. Their lives are at risk wherever they are. And it's a flat out lie that homeless people aren't being taken care of. Yes. Do we need more support? Yes. There's actually billions and billions of dollars for the first time going to prevent homelessness and help homeless people. And I hope and pray the government doesn't mess it up. But the statement that, how do you people feel about aliens being given a pass into the country and dollars when homeless people, is not the truth. It's not. There's a crisis at the border. Immigration is a crisis. Something has to be done. It's not an easy, there's no easy solution. But the narrative that all this money is going to immigrants and nothing to homelessness is not true. Is not the truth. Not even close to the truth. So let's see. Wonder of Wasteland. So I do too. Here in Los Angeles, yeah, I like to believe the best in people. So there was Prop HHH that raised $1.6 billion. And there's corruption. I mean, one of the city council members was arrested by the FBI for shading dealings with developers. Wherever there's big money, there's big egos and big corruption. Any industry. It's not just homelessness. I mean, look at Enron. You know, Bernie Madoff ripped off more people than I think anybody alive, right? And, you know, it's just this sad thing about humanity that there are people that take advantage of others. And, you know, we get this, the coronavirus caused so much destruction to our economy. I mean, hundreds upon hundreds upon hundreds of thousands of people died. That is the biggest crisis. That's what's mind blowing, right? And it also crashed the economy and jobs, and let's hope it all comes back. I mean, with what's going on in India. I mean, see, and here again, I wanted, this person there brought up immigration. So, if the coronavirus, like right now in India, it's like expanding, in Brazil too. If we don't wipe it out around the globe, it's going to come back. So this thinking, oh, we shouldn't take care of these people. But with the coronavirus, we really have one chance. One chance I mean, homelessness is going to, there's 14 million households at risk of being evicted. 14 million. 14 million households are at risk of being evicted. If that happens, I mean, homelessness was already skyrocketing before the pandemic. So if that happens, we may never get another chance to have any impact in ending homelessness. So I agree with you, and that I hope and pray that this time the money isn't wasted, and every penny goes to what it should be. Thank you, Pam. Thank you for joining us. That's very kind of you. And thank you, everybody that's been donating. Tanya, I'm sorry you were home, but I that you were homeless, but I like the was, that I was homeless. Revolt? No, I mean, so if you look at the two sides, which, was interesting. So the parties kind of switched many years ago, right? So Abraham Lincoln was actually a Republican, but at the time the Republicans were more like Democrats. And as we got older or whatever, the two parties changed in ideologies. And the Republicans, so my stepdad was a Republican. He was a very kind man and cared about others. So the Republicans we have today, the Ted Cruzes, they call themselves the Moscow Mitch. Who knows what they are? They're not the Republicans that my stepdad was. And we got to get back to the other Republican. But, the Republicans basically believe less government, less taxes, and people should just pull them up by the bootstraps. Where Democrats are more open to social services. So your statement that Biden wouldn't have done anything is not true. In fact, I mean, it's very encouraging. I mean, we finally have a HUD secretary who actually, we finally have a HUD secretary that really cares, I think. I mean, Ben Carson was a joke. LW, no, I'm not. I'm in Los Angeles. So I don't know if you guys also saw Mona's video went in a week over 1 million views. I don't know what it is today. So I talk about this a lot because you guys ask about it all the time. I want to GoFundMe. I want to GoFundMe. I want to GoFundMe. Well, when I was recording Mona, I asked her, do you want to put on a GoFundMe? And she didn't want to. If somebody doesn't want to, here's the criteria is the person has to be able to handle a lot of cash. Because what happens is a bunch of cash comes in the first couple of days and then nothing after. I mean, like maybe 100 a month. It has to be direct to them, meaning they set up the bank account and the money goes to them, no middleman. And then it has to, they want it. So when her video went viral, a lot of people were asking and sending job offers, which is awesome and very kind. But Mona even says in her video that she suffers from mental illness. And she even talked about how hard it is to maintain a job if you don't have showers and different things, right? So these people are very kind, but the thinking that Mona is going to go from several years living in a tent in a park to sitting behind a desk doing an engineering job is not realistic. And so I was in contact with Mona this week, and I asked her, I said, look, your video's getting a lot of views. People are offering you jobs. And I said, Mona, I mean, do you think you could go to work right now without healing, without a period, a pause to heal? And she didn't feel she would be able to. And I said, well, why don't you why don't you start a GoFundMe? Why don't you? And she did. And you guys have been donating to Mona, and it's great. It's going to help her. Just remember, unless it's a regular income, unless you're going to donate $40,000 to her every year, people don't get out of homelessness. Every year we raise about $100,000 or more for several homeless people. It goes directly to them. And none of them have ever gotten out of homelessness. And it's not that they're doing anything bad or making bad decisions. I mean, even now, I'm looking for an apartment. Invisible People just hired me yesterday, so I can prove that I'm getting paid. I have good credit, thank God. I've protected my credit, but I only made $6,000 in 2020. And the landlords are asking for your 2020 IRS income taxes. So when I show that I only made $6,000 in 2020, they're not going to rent to me. So can you imagine if you're homeless and you have bad credit and you don't even have an income that's steady? The charity helps. The GoFundMe helps. I mean, I assume Mona, I will see her this week. I assume that they went and got a hotel room, got some food, maybe bought some clothes, and is on a path to getting better. But it doesn't end homelessness. And that's why it's so important we change our thinking from a charity mindset where, people need sandwiches, people need clothes, people need socks. There's boxes of socks right here. People, need this stuff. I do charity, but we have to the reason that they're hungry, the reason they don't have clothes, the reason, I was walking downtown this morning and there was a young kid and I really didn't know if he was homeless or not. And I talked to him a little bit. He said he didn't want socks. But when he passed me, you could tell from his shirt that he was laying on mud. And it was heartbreaking. And yeah, I could give him socks, I could buy him a meal, but he's going to still sleep outside tonight. So the charity is great, but it never solved the social crisis. And that is why we have to figure out a way. Yeah, Patricia, I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm looking. It's very, 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 very depressing trying to find housing. And I got to get out of my mom's house. Good thing is this week has been amazingly busy, and I haven't thought about Mother's Day coming up. Ugh. Pam, thank you. Thank you, everybody. I haven't been paying attention to the chat. So my guess is there's 200 of you. Normally we go around 300 at nighttime. So do you guys like the afternoon better or nighttime? Because we're going to have to, next Sunday we'll be back on 8 o'clock East Coast time. We'll spend Mother's Day together. But we're going to have to figure out a time for the live streams for when I get back to LA. Oop, I wasn't scrolling. Scott, you like the Sue likes night, Scott likes day. Patricia likes nighttime. Thank you, William. Yeah, Wandering Wasteland, it is. You can't. So we do have a big international crowd. Dano is with us almost every stream. He's in the UK. We get a lot of people from around the world. So by going this time, it's better for people in Europe. Hi, Auntie D. But he, and the reason I do 8 o'clock is that it's not too late in Europe and it's 5 o'clock here and you try to catch that. So Lee wants nighttime. We'll do a poll and we might try. I tried several times in several different days until we locked in. Wow, Jane, I'm glad that. Yeah, Jane, yeah, I'm glad you and your son are in housing, and you're right. I don't know. I hope what I'm thinking is when I sell my mom's house, I'll be able to pay like a double deposit or something. I hopefully. So my goal was to move by now, but I have some minor surgery on May 27th, so I decided to do that back in New York when I had doctors that I knew and health insurance. Because when I moved to California, I'm going to have a gap in health insurance. That's when I got to talk to Derek. Derek knows some tricks about getting some health insurance, so we'll have to make sure to talk to Derek. Andrew, in the UK, I think it's 8 hours, so it's like 10 o'clock, right, Dano? 10 p.m. I think Los Angeles is 8 hours from London. Wow. Hey, Jane, where did you live? What part of the world? Patricia, thank you for your kind words. Hey, Violet. Church of Invisible People. That's an interesting channel name. Oh, Belgium is a little farther, obviously. So for anybody new, I'm going to go back through those photos. And again, I will, because, there's some of you that have been with us from the beginning of the stream, but some of us just coming in. But I spent this week with USC Street Medical Team. Here they're on Skid Row, helping homeless people. And this next, when they pulled out the cloth to help this homeless man to cover him up while they helped his medical needs. Swar, I am much happier here. When they covered up, it was so dignity and respect. I got emotional. I mean, what they're doing was covering them up so when cars go by, um, just amazing. And then I went out with the sidewalk project. That's Rosa in the middle. She's been on the streets of Skid Row since she was 11. Just horrible. And this is Jen helping a homeless man, and they do harm reduction, which is so important. Um, a dead addict doesn't ever get sober. I mean, they don't recover. And here's Soma helping a man that this other man in green pants came running that he had gotten hit in the head. And this, there's so much love. There's so much love in this photo. All these photos. I mean, most people look at this gentleman's leg. Look at how the abscess, right? I have a whole series of photos. Revolt. I've emailed back and forth with Mark a few times. I should reach out to him. But there's so much love in this photo. Anyways, those are going to be mini documentaries that coming up. One on the sidewalk project. The other one is on USC medical team, and hopefully we're going to use the video, or hopefully the video will help pass a law so that the street doctors can become primary care physicians, because right now they can do wound care, but they can't do anything else. They're kind of governed. Hey, Church of Invisible People, thank you. And then we're doing, tonight is day 2 of the shoot. Last night was mostly car stuff, and I couldn't. The movie is about a homeless woman living in her car, not some old fat guy with a bag of socks in the back seat. So I didn't get many photos or anything, and I hope to make up for that last night or tonight. I'm probably going to go visit another. There's another organization of volunteers feeding people around LA. But folks, so, again, I'm sorry. Tonight at 5 o'clock, we're shooting the movie. We rented a parking lot. I wasn't able to live stream, so I figured I would just fire everything up and we'd spend a little time together as we're doing. I am going to run because in 3 hours we're going to shoot, and I got an appointment to go look at an apartment building. Yeah, Derek is a rock star. So, we don't talk about this a lot, but most of Derek's, a lot of Derek's love has come from his Invisible People videos, and they just keep on coming and coming and coming. And I'm so grateful and honored to be able to help Derek get so much media exposure. Just really, really, really awesome. No, Dano, you guys are family. I'm going to apologize. I mean, I like to be right, I try to be episodic. We're humans. We like things to be in order and the same time every week. So, Violet, thank you. So, any last words before I run? Revolt, you don't know that. I was a heroin addict. I'm a meth addict. Upgrade me. I don't know if that's good or bad, Derek. So anyways, folks, thank you very much for spending Sunday afternoon, for being a little flexible. And I just think the world of you. We have a lot of exciting stuff going on. And as soon as I get back to LA, it's gonna be on. It's gonna be on. Oh, it's gonna be so on. Um, and until then, we're just gonna keep hanging out like we do every Sunday. So, hey, folks, you have a good Sunday afternoon, and be safe.